Good evening, everybody. I'm Brother Sam Faithworthy, and welcome to God is Ready to Forgive. Well, I'm going to show you just how ready God is, because God is ready to forgive you. Are you ready to be forgiven tonight? Well, Brother Sam Faithworthy is going to show you how it's done. First of all, let's go look in the good Word of God and see what His Word says about how forgiven He really is. Because it's where God tells us about His character and His nature. And we have to look in there to see just what it is that we're dealing with tonight. Let's turn in our Bibles, if you will, to the very first story we ever were told about God. And that's the creation story. But let's flip a few pages down to the end of it, where we learn that Adam and Eve sinned against God. Now, it says that Adam and Eve sinned against God. Well, God, with a fast, forgiving hand, He forgave them and kicked them out of the garden and cursed them and allowed them to die from not eating the tree of life. Well, He would have forgiven them if He wanted to. But let's turn a few pages more to the story of old Uzzah when he tried to protect the ark from falling over and breaking into a couple of pieces. He reached out and touched the ark, and that was a big no-no to God. And so, with a fast forgiving, God struck him dead where he stood. Let's turn to the story of the Amalekites. Well, God told the Amalekites, "You will not ambush my chosen people." And so therefore you got to pay a price. But with God, He's a forgiving God. And God, let's turn to the story of David. David was a man after God's own heart. David was a man, after God's own heart. And let's look at what David did wrong in one story. I'm sure you remember the story where he numbered Israel. Let's go take a look at that. It was a no-no to God, and God, with a fast, forgiving hand, He smote 70,000 Israelites with a pestilence. David, when he killed Bathsheba's husband, Uriah, and had sex with Bathsheba and had a child, that was murder and adultery. That was a definite no-no. God, with a fast, forgiving, He struck the child dead, and it died a little bit later. Let's turn to the New Testament, because that's really where God really starts to forgive a lot more. Ananias and Sapphira, there we go. They didn't give all that they had to the church. And what happened there was, once it got found out, God, in His ever-forgiving way, struck them dead where they stood. Well, look, let's just talk about God for a minute. God is a God of forgiveness. And in our next program, we're going to talk a little bit more about God and His forgiveness. Well, this has been Brother Sam Faithworthy, and God is ready to forgive.